Alright, welcome back. Game number 2, currently underway for the safety net qualifiers. I almost said WCS for some reason, but the whole point of this tournament is for those who didn't make it to WCS, so that would have made no sense. Spawning here in the top right corner of the map, he's up 1 at the moment. It's going to be Properties Blueser, Zanster.
The bottom left, as the red Protoss, it's Softs Nightend.
Alright, Nightend is really not a bad player, guys. And while we made some jokes, and I saw some chat jump into about the lag, I don't really think lag was the problem. There's definitely some misplaced army positions and this, that, and the other. Like, his composition was good, he just didn't take great fights was the problem. And Zanster really capitalized on this. I mean, there's a lot of cool things Zanster did before the first fight even began. You know, we saw him loop around with the Lings, get ready to come in from behind. He forced out a lot of force fields out in the open. But this map is something that's going to complement Nightend's playstyle a little bit more. There's a lot of areas where you can actually abuse the force fields, whereas the previous map was a big, wide open field. It might as well have not even had terrain on it.
Yeah. I wonder what a 2-base Immortal all-in would look like on this map. Like, you technically, you might not be scouted, because the Zelnagas don't cover the middle. The third base, or potentially third base, I should say. I don't know which one Sancho's going to take. Looks like the one to the left, so never mind. But the one behind the rocks, well, they're rocks, and the rocks are bad. Okay. So I don't know. But it looks like Zanster's going to get away with the 3-4 pool. That's nice.
Well, one of the things this kind of does risk is something like early cannons. Nightend has certainly done cannon rushes in the past, so this has got to be a calculated risk out of Zanster, not something he's just doing because, you know, you'll swag him up 1-0.
Yeah, it is. I mean, last game, Nightend did not go for a cannon rush, so it is a calculated risk that is working out really well, so. Nicely done here. Yeah.
You're working out to get the payoff. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
He's working up really good right now.
What did you say earlier?
You said
a Stargate port. You ended it weird.
An important Stargate.
A Stargate Portland? Port something.
Yo, Portland sucks, dude.
Have you been there?
Nope.
Well, then
I
have,
however, seen the documentary series Portlandia.
Oh,
so
well, that
I
tells
can
everything.
make very, very critical assessments about Portland.
I once watched a Strange Brew. Is that what it was called?
Sounds like you drank a Strange Brew. What are you talking about?
Hold on. Yeah, Strange Brew. It's about Canada. You should watch it. It's very much Canada.
It's very much Canada. I need a little bit more than that to go on. When I say I've watched Portlandia, everyone knows what that's about. Like, what is a Strange Brew? We're not even known for, like, our beer. So, like, what is this in context to? Syrup?
Canada's most famous hosers? Is that how you guys pronounce it?
Take off, you hoser! No fucking way!
Bob and Doug McKenzie get jobs at Elsinore Brewery. One of them, something is rotten with the state of it. I remember watching this like years ago, and it was just so Canada. It was like that image. Your people as a national wear, you know, Miss Canada.
Oh man, so many people have been flipping out
like
about that.
But in film.
So the scoreboard says 20-14 on it, right?
Sure.
What blows my mind is like it's 2014, like the year the dress was made and showcased and all this stuff. But people are like, that score is so wrong. People have actually, like, it was on the news, like Canadian news, go figure, right? They were blowing up about how the score of the scoreboard was stupid or something, and it would never look like that. And I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? It's just 2014. That's the joke. Like, how is everyone getting up in arms about this?
I just want to say there was a game. The only hockey game I ever watched was the Penguins, and they lost something like 14-1. So I don't think that's unrealistic at all. But anyways, we do have some light pressure. So basically the same opener from Zanster, but he bothered to put down a pylon and do a little pressure. He can just expand off of it if he wants to.
Well, he also managed to sneak 2 lanes to the main. What's going on? I was a little bit worried these would get a little out of hand, but I mean, it's not like the early 2 lanes that have to outrun Zealots. But he cleans up a pylon on the other side of the map. He sees the gateway count. He knows what the gases look like. This was perhaps the best scout he could have hoped for.
What is Zanster doing? Okay, well, I was going to say, like, you're right, like, there aren't any gases on the way, he's making a ton of cash. I feel like the gateways were a little mistimed, that it looks like they're going to come down anyways, right? Like, 4 gateways at a time just costs a lot of money. So, this is going to be a 7 gates. But it's so obvious. Like, the Overlord's right there. Like, you're checking the gas guy. I don't know.
Well, regardless of whether this is a scene or not, it's not like a 7 gate, like, or a San gate is any easier to hold just because you know it's coming. You're gonna need spy cars, you're gonna need defense, you're gonna need a lot more than what currently Zanster has. Because he went so late on the gases as well, it's pretty much just Lings. He's not gonna have a lot of roaches to work with. He doesn't have any gas to build things with.
It is true. Nightend going for an expansion might seem a little odd, you know, considering that I think he's gonna figure out soon. Well, now he knows, seeing all these units out here. But oddly enough, that means he could sacrifice this base and just transfer over. The counterattack really does lend into this idea too.
Yes, no cannon,
like a counterattack,
core. Oh god.
Do damage, just take my drones away from this.
And look at the warp in.
Third.
I can't wait till Legacy the Void comes in and these units take bonus damage while warping in. It's gonna feel so good.
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what Zanster does, though. He can't really initiate the base trade. The Zealots were enough, even without upgrades. But he just goes to these other bases, and that bought enough time for the roaches to come out. And you do need roaches.
Yeah, it wasn't even about trying to build the roaches, just getting the gas for them, getting the actual materials to construct the DNA, or whatever you want to call it, to actually build those roaches. Because versus Stalkers, the Lings are great, but versus Zealots, not quite the case. Oh, these drones are revealed. I think he should have just kept mining. Did he not realize? Or oh, the hatchery wasn't done, so they're probably like auto return.
Yeah.
Dumbasses. He's not kiting with the roaches, but instead taking the fight head onto the Zealots. Drones are being pulled into this. This is getting a little bit dire, but if he can find a way to hold on to this, the counterattack was chipping away the gateways. He withdraws. He heads back home. Forces in a warp in over there. If he can get on top of the Stalkers with the Zerglings, the roaches will eventually beat the Zealots. But man, he's losing so much for this. He's gonna got 2 bases, and that's alright. But he's lost 2 bases. Oh, the recall is so dirty.
I do wonder if that was enough, though.
15 drones dead? Nah.
Yeah, you know, in a hatchery, sure, but I do wonder.
Well, not 1, but 2. And a very important
one.
Oh,
yeah, you're
natural,
right.
So.
I totally forgot that one died. Ugh.
He could replace this, or he could continue to pump units. Instead, he's going for the lair. I would, you know what, I'd love to see it. He brought up before. Night is freaking worm. Might not be a bad way to get around this. There's a lot of dead space here to the north in a base, so for someone who's walled himself out, he wouldn't be able to respond, but I don't know if Zanster's gonna be able to do this. You know, he accidentally revealed this base. A critical mistake with those drones. Like, seriously, I think that this may not have ever been scouted had that not been the case, but sentries are taken out immediately. No force field's going down. Guardian shield goes up. He's on top of the army. Zanster might just be able to crush this. There's no recall round 2.
Some Zealots getting warped in, but the Lings are on top of what they need to be on top of, which is Stalkers and Sentries. All of them are going down. A big warping of Stalkers.
Oh, kite the Zealots, man. Kite the Zealots. Don't fight them at face value. There's no roach speed, but there's a the creep benefit, I guess you could call it. Drones are being pulled once more. I kind of think he's almost... These might be better off mining.
Yeah, that is a hard question to... That's a hard call right there. Still no roach speed, even though we did get that lair. Didn't bother canceling it. Sometimes we do see that in desperate situations, but just doesn't have the time. It barely has the gas really to go and get that roach speed.
Lings are coming out of this. That might be the trigger to go for the attack. He is starting to lose units out. It feels like that Queen's been under construction for 11 years. Just needs to pop out and kill that mothership core. Roaches.
This might be it.
Yeah, that's not good. Those force fields did hurt.
Yeah, I don't really know who that was it for. The force fields were not that great.
They kept the Zealots away from the roaches, but at the same time, the roaches took a lot of damage through this attack. Mothership core does not go down. Wow! I think Nightend has barely done it, maybe? I mean, Zanster, he could transfer back to the natural, and he could turtle up, but then he loses yet another base, and that's what he's trying to avoid through all of this, but he's got no way to shoot up, so he just continues to bleed units out, whether it's a Ling, whether it's a drone. I mean, it's just free units dying over and over and over again. Dark trying to follow this up, though. If Nightend wasn't...
So no, go back to mining! What do you... They both left each other. I don't even...
The Dark Shrine, I think, might seal the deal. There is a layer, so there's the possibility of an Overseer, but it's money he can't really even afford to spend. Even though an Overseer costs virtually nothing, it's still more expensive than what he's able to afford.
Just not lose that base.
Yeah, Queen should be able to kill the Mothership core this time. Last time, it would have won that fight too if it wasn't busy shooting anything else. Alright, nice snipe, nice snipe. Getting back into the game, but Zanster's down in a lot. Like, his drone count is just in the gutter.
Yeah, and he's not prepared for the ZTs. They're gonna come, probably 3, maybe even 4, depending on how much gas that he has, and go to each base. They'll be able to kill the hatchery. They'll get all the drones. It might cause a GG. I guess one thing is that they do have to be warped in over here. That is small. Oh, and then if that doesn't do it, it's going to be a Mortal Archon all in. Oh,
God. This is just getting worse and worse for somebody who's got roaches. You know, Zanster made game 1 look like Nightend was putty in his hand. Game 2, Nightend's definitely making this look a little bit better for him. I still wouldn't call it over just yet, but it very well is going to... It doesn't get better from here for Zanster.
No. The DT is... If only he could see them. If only he noticed. He did notice!
If only they were permanently stealthed.
Oh my god, and they didn't go to each base. He might just be okay.
Well, he's pushing this back for now, but this is still... Okay, the Overseer is done. He'll pick off 1 or 2 of these pretty quickly. Pulls from the main, minimizing damage.
Pool, but the spawning pool was in a bad position. He takes out so much of the main force without, you know, the potential Archons or the Immortal there for Nightend. That might have been Zanster winning this game.
He's got a huge army supply lead now, but... Yeah, the drone counts have evened up, and I think that's what I'm looking at more than this. Like, he's on a good worker count. He's got economy finally going for him.
Nightend, I think, really screwed up by attacking at that third. It seemed like a great idea, right? But, you know, he noticed the DTs, which is so good,
right. Like
and defended the third, and took out a bunch of army, and Nightend, he has so much cash. If he could just warp in, he'd have a big army.
Well, it's weird too, because I wonder if that would have been better or not to not attack. Because at the same time, like, that small distraction was what perhaps he was relying on not to see it. So rather than discrediting Nightend, because that attack was, I think, necessary to at least draw the attention. Like, hey, your unit's under attack. Look over here. Look over here. More credit goes to Zanster for seeing the Dark Templar coming through that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He might still lose the third here. It is fairly
there's not a lot of force fields.
But really you're right. There are barely any force fields. There's 2, I think.
Man, is Zanster really making this happen?
I think Zanster's gonna win now. You know, if either one of those attack did work, the DTs actually got drone damage, or he got the third base, or even the Jones of the third, he probably follows up with a rather powerful all-in and does win. But neither one happened. So much gas was put into those DTs. That was like all of the gas that he had for what could have been, you know, however many more centuries. And now he's gonna expand. Okay.
Well, looking for the backdoor attack at the same time. Zanster, he's gonna do this really cool dance. Like, he'll dance around the right side of the map, and Nightend might discern, like, oh, hey, that's actually not that big of an army. Maybe I can take this on. But not before Zanster gets into his base. If he gets on top of these pylons, if he cuts out any reinforcements, I mean, Nightend's only got 1 more recall in him. Oh, there's no way. Nightend does not see this coming. Or not no way he doesn't see it coming. There is no way, comma, he doesn't see this coming. He's on top of the pylons immediately to power what is going to be 5 gateways. Nice moves, nice moves. He does take a throw. What's going on, but the engagement starts here on the right side. Drones being pulled preemptively, but the roaches are in range of the Immortals. 5 freaking Immortals, though, is hard to deal with when you've only got roaches. More Zerglings are on the way, but if this is a base trade, a base race, I don't think it's one that Zanster can win.
Well, okay, there is one observer. He's gonna be like, is Burrow gonna be the savior here? But no, he got a Hydralisk Den.
Oh, look at this! Gets on top of the Immortals. 2 of the Immortals go down pretty much right away. Nicely done. He's used to disengage. Force Field not going to block Nightend off of his own. Like, he can't advance up that ramp. Recall goes off. He leaves an Immortal behind. Getting really worried about this defensive fight. He's going to hold his own base, but this gives Zanster breathing room. I think the recall. I think this is a mistake at a Nightend recalling. I mean, perhaps trying to trade that out better was. It is hard to say, but I don't know. I think Zanster, he's got the momentum now. He's got the army supply lead. I mean, Immortals are good. They got the damage. But what makes them so good versus Roaches is the force fields. And there's not really any force fields left. And even if there were, he just tunneling claws underneath them.
Yeah, I think the only way to win was to base trade for Nightend, actually. You know, because he could take on the army with good force fields and 4 or 5 Immortals, but he couldn't. He can't defend.
Oh, he's
same way.
He's just doesn't give a flip. The Hardened Shield, who cares? These Immortals are already almost dead. Oh, and if there's no Immortals, there's no damage. Zanster looks like he might just do this. He's not won it just yet, but yeah.
What are the cost of his entire army? So.
Did he replace the pylons? He's only just now getting this back down, so he's got no production, even if he had money. But Roach Army. Man, I can't believe Zanster brought this back. This was so well done.
Yeah, lost 2 hatcheries.
GG, well played.
Still ended up winning.
So congratulations to Zanster. He'll be our 2nd player through the qualifiers, and he'll be